So, we f***ed up.
Hello, we're Clockbait. I'm Luke.
I'm Anthony, and very clearly we both got the memo on the dress code today.
I know, ridiculous.
Shocking.
So today we're going to talk about something we spoke about on our Instagram page quite a lot, is the purchase of a Pogue, and I'm going to do it in the Dr. Evil Pogue, because as it turns out, it's got some, well, how should we say?
Fake bits.
Aftermarket bits.
Fake bits.
Aftermarket bits. This wasn't the best decision we've ever made.
No, it wasn't, unfortunately.
We're going to look at it as a learning curve.
A very big learning curve.
We got excited on, I guess, the Bay of E.
As is always these things, that's
Yeah.
always what happens.
We shot a video last week. If you've not seen it, I don't know where you've been. And we didn't notice at all. The watch arrived, we looked at it, we thought it was fine. We thought,
Yeah.
we got excitement, looks good. We filmed. We macro filmed.
And then spent hours editing.
Edited the macro footage, which involved hours of looking at really close up things of like the hands and the dial.
The
and
bezel.
The bezel.
The crown.
And as it turns out, we didn't notice that it had some really now obvious bits that that you don't really pick up on straight away. So yeah.
Well, you had a kind of inkling that something wasn't quite right, to be fair.
I think inkling's a fair way to say, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
There was a bell ringing somewhere to say, have a look at me a bit closer. And what was it? You was watching a video just after we'd finished editing.
Yeah, a guy called Spencer Klein. So Spencer Klein is his channel's really good. It's super nerdy, but he's a watchmaker. He's a self-taught watchmaker. He specialises in the 6139s.
Bit of a weird thing to specialise in.
I know.
Okay. Whatever floats your boat.
He does really well from it. He does a lot of the vintage Seiko kind of repairs, and what he does for his customers when they send the watch in, he does a complete breakdown of the watch on YouTube. Yeah. And after we've filmed, I was laying in bed and I was watching one of his videos about how to spot a moody Pogue. And he got one of his true Pogues that he's kind of patented, true Pogue, and compared it to what he calls a Malaysian special or a Filipino special. I was watching the Filipino thinking, he's got my watch there. Things that should have been brought to light a bit earlier. First and foremost, hands.
Yeah, and I can't believe we didn't notice them. I mean, they're awful. I mean, like you said to me, it looks like they've been Tipp-Ex'd on, or someone's got a really small mini roller and just lolloped.
I don't think it was a mini roller. I think he's got some Dulux and just gone, nah, that'll do, that'll be fine.
Pretty horrific. No?
I mean, you can almost see inside, you might be able to see inside the macro stuff, that it did once have loomed hands. They are obviously a dodgy set because the second hand counter on the chronograph and especially the hour one is completely the wrong shape. Second one now has paint missing.
Yeah.
From when I took it out, more on that in a second.
Just kind of powdered away. Yeah.
So hands off totally. Dial. Now the dial, we compared this to, we were at Time for a Pint evening the other day, and we was comparing this to a lovely chap's Seiko collection. There he had it, the Pogue, and I was thinking, oh no, I brought this one. This could get awkward. But I thought, let's go and compare it to the other one. The other one's lovely, absolutely lovely.
True,
really fully original, never polished.
Oh, yeah. Even the case looks sharp edges.
So sharp. But compared to this one, it looks like someone polished it with one of your car polishing things, just went straight over it and just used
a rotary.
just wet and dry sandpaper it all over. It's not too bad, it's not absolutely horrendous, but the dial, let's talk about the dial quickly now. On the actual Pogues, they have this lovely kind of golden honey coloured, especially on early ones.
It's very yellowy gold, isn't it? It's like true gold, very true. It's nice. And how we didn't spot that. You've seen so many of these pictures on the internet, and you can't really take the colours for true, can you?
When you look at this one now closely, it kind of looks like dehydrated piss.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like you've had some dodgy breakfast sugar puffs. And you've had
sugar puff dial.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it now, the sugar puff dial. The loom's not badly applied.
For aftermarket, it's pretty damn good quality, to be fair.
Well, we think it is anyway, but
well, it looks like it. I mean, the way it catches the light and stuff. I mean, it was very convincing.
Not bad. Also, the in the hour counter, if you look closely, and I don't know how we didn't pick this up in the macro, because when we look back at the footage now, it's quite clearly beveled inner rings. Which that's not on the actual one, so I don't know why they thought, oh no, let's make a dial here, let's make this one better.
Yeah,
they've like changed the whole design.
but in a way it is better. It's just the wrong colour. I mean, the way this catches light is fantastic, to be fair.
But yeah,
I still quite like it.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, it is a big thing. It's the internet thing that stops you from enjoying this. It's because you've seen everyone else's 6139 Pogues. You're like, oh, that's what it should be. So you kind of guilt tripped into wanting the true, honest, original Pogue. But I mean, have a look online. You go on to Chrono, go on to eBay or wherever else you buy your watches from, and what would you say? Like a good 80% of them.
75-80%. Afterwards, I'm now an expert in these. Now we messed up. Now I know what I'm looking for. So if you do decide you want to buy one, come to us and I'll tell you whether it's fake or not.
You should be able to spot it this time. Fingers crossed.
In our last video, the worst thing that is really funny now we look back on it, we're saying at the end, please be careful. There's a lot of fake ones out there.
But we was careful. You did do a lot of research.
We both did.
You've been looking at them for years.
My bad. So crowns, that's one way you can tell. This goes back to what I talked about when I decided to take the movement out. 6139 crowns are rare now because they don't produce them anymore. And the way they work, you have the crown, then you have like a little spring loaded to do the date set, and then you have the what's it called? The stem at the end.
Oh yeah, because quick date set, you press it down.
Yeah, your other one that you've got, the 6139, perfect. I mean, this one works okay, but it's totally a fake crown. So I've took the crown out, which if you don't know how to do this properly on a 6139, leave them alone.
Yeah, cue that panicked phone call that I got that evening. Oh, I've broken it, the crown
the crown would not go back in. So not only did we have a FrankenPogue, we had a broken FrankenPogue. Thanks to the people on Instagram that helped me out. I think Curtis plus Richard, they run a really cool vintage shop. You should check that out. They've got loads of good really pieces on there. Thank
God they're in America. It stops me from buying lots.
But yeah, they told me, in fact, you've probably just put the keyless gear out, fiddle around for a little bit and click off. 10 minutes in bed going like this. All of a sudden just
10 minutes of wiggling it around and thumbing it in, weren't you?
Thumbing it in.
Just thumbing it in and until... And then you go. You got a working Pogue again and everyone's happy.
I don't think I've ever been that happy from when it all came, when it clicked back in.
I don't think your wife wants to hear you say that.
No, that's true. That's true. But I've never been that happy.
Must have had a blinding honeymoon.
Just be careful when you buy them. Honestly, there is that many. It seems to be a lot of the UK ones get stung. There seems to be a lot in the UK. The Australian ones seem pretty good. American ones seem pretty good. But anything, the UK ones, there's a lot of moody copies going around. When it comes to, there's a lot of watches out there that have Franken parts. I mean, they're all over chrono, even down to Rolexes as well. Well, definitely down to Rolexes. Yeah. It's probably the most faked watch in the world. But I see these slightly different to fake watches. They're Frankens. They're made of different Seikos.
Just parts bin special. Someone is just literally rummaging around in a toolbox full of shit and then build something.
On one hand, this was my thing for keeping it or not keeping it. On one hand, you have a Seiko Pogue, 6139 Pogue, that has a dodgy dial, dodgy hands, dodgy crown, dodgy pretty much everything. Or on the second hand, on the positive, half glass full kind of look, you could say, listen, I've got a really well working 6139 movement in it and it looks funky.
Which I think is fine. So if you're not paying the £600 and £1,000 for a true Pogue, and you buy a FrankenPogue for say 200, 300 quid, you've still got a great watch.
The analogy I put to it, I always like to relate stuff back to cars, right?
Yeah, it's easy, so that's what we understand.
Say this, you've got a Ferrari 355, okay? So I'm not comparing Seiko to Ferrari, but you've got your 355, okay? And you looked after it mechanically. You've got, the engine's perfect, making good power. Yeah. You've got good transmission, no crunches, and you've got straight steering, fine. You've left it out in the rain for a long time. You've been driving it in winter. Salt's all on it. It's got rusted. It's rusted all the way through the bulkhead. It's completely screwed on the bodywork. So you take it to a body shop, and he goes, "Oh, you've got a lovely Ferrari, here, but it's completely." So, what should we call him? We'll call him Mr. Pogue. Takes it into his dealership. We'll do that.
He's back again.
That's it. And they go, "Listen, the Ferrari parts, your body panels are really, really expensive now." Listen, I know you're an astronaut, but I know times are hard at the moment. You're wearing Seikos to space. Yeah. So what do you want to do? We can either give you the Ferrari parts, you pay the bill, or we've got a Toyota MR2 there. We've got a Mark II MR2.
Just lollop all those bits on.
Put them bits on. 99% of the population will still think it's a Ferrari. What do you want to do?
And that goes to show this. Even if you do a bit of research, to even most people,
most even watch fans won't realise.
Yeah, they just won't realise. So if you can get that a little bit cheaper and you don't want to pay that full premium for a true Pogue, then, I mean, apart from the backlash you'll probably receive on the internet of of people that really hate the fact that it's a FrankenPogue.
The Seiko experts.
The Seiko experts.
In their attics at the mum's house. You haven't got the right parts.
That's not a Pogue.
But yeah, that being said, we were going to keep it, but I think it is going. It's just I can't enjoy it now.
Now you've seen the other one, especially.
Yeah, you just can't enjoy it. Yeah. But you said to me the other day, like, why would they kind of mess up a Seiko in the first place? It's,
it's a Seiko. Leave it alone. Just.
The problem
is to put loads of extra cards.
The problem is these were cheap watches, right? At one point, up until kind of 7-8 years ago, they were still cheap watches. And if you take it in for a service before say patina was cool, because that's been a cool thing recently. But before it was cool, it might have said, listen, your dial's looking a little bit screwed. Would you like, we can either put another Seiko dial in, but that'll cost X amount, or we've got this other dial here, it looks exactly the same. Would you like that in Mister? That's why I think a lot of them are like this. Second theory, if you will, is that people are just getting 6139, 600X cases and just literally doing the parts bin Ferrari special.
So going from like a silver dialed 6139 and then trying to make it look like a normal Pogue.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Because if they think they're going to get more money for it, which is always the way, isn't it? People try and lie and cheat their way to get more money all the time.
Well, that's the dangers of eBay. You never really know. Without sounding like Forrest Gump, you never really know what you're gonna get.
No, you don't. But you really don't know, to be honest. People can take the nicest. It's like fat girls back in the day when they were on internet.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too. Oh yeah, fat guys as well. The MySpace angles, and that is exactly what you get on internet.
We got a MySpace Pogue. That's what we got. It's probably gonna go. I replace it with something. I don't know, something real.
Well, maybe another Pogue or an Alpinist. Or...
I've had enough of them. I've had enough of the vintage watch market after this. It's bitten me right in the arse.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. It's left a bitter taste in the mouth. But
it has.
At the end of the day, what we're trying to say is, yes, we f***ed up massively. But not. It's not like we're going to lose loads of money. It's not really a massive issue.
What is so funny about it as well, I know it's got all these dodgy parts on, but the inner bezel still works perfectly.
Well, most of the watch still works perfectly.
It does. I mean, that being a surprising thing, if you don't know these, a lot of the inner bezels just break, a lot of the teeth.
And the chrono pushers don't work and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's still a decent watch for the money, and it's not too much of an issue. But if you're looking to buy one of these, which obviously they're quite sought after, a lot of people looking into it, just literally know exactly what you're looking at.
Do your research.
Just look at your research. Yeah, much better than us, and just don't get stung. So yeah, good luck with it, to be honest. It could be quite difficult.
Absolutely.
Just thought we'd update you a lot on it, and hope you're not laughing at our expense too much.
We just made ourselves look like right twats, didn't we, to be honest? But
it's all part of the fun.
It's all part of the fun.
Pizza on me.
What am I on about? Me. So we have been Clockbait. If you enjoyed the video, give it a little like. If you'd like to see more of us talking pretty much nonsense about watches, don't forget to subscribe. There'll be more videos to come. Other than that,
see you
later.
Bye.